Just a terrible casting and a terrible way of using these characters. The writers failed miserably in utilizing what in the books are rather interesting and exciting characters, the daughters of Oberyn Martell. The actresses all looked like novices, and the two eldest just looked like angry lesbians all the time, while the third one's role was that of a sex pot. I was glad and relieved when they finally died. The writers chose a very, very bad option to have the snakes and Elaria kill Dorne and Ariohota and take over their place. Awful idea. Elaria replacing Doran was especially a bad, even laughable idea. That they just could get away with killing the Prince of Dorne and then just take his place on the throne. I liked nothing about Shae, nothing at all. The whore with a heart of gold, at least that's what she seemed to be. After the first season, her role was simply to be one major annoyance, especially after season 2. Her accent was annoying and the actress simply didn't pull her weight. She tried but just didn't succeed. She was in the end turned into a betrayer and a sinner, which she probably always was. It was only fitting that she should be strangled by Tyrion. Even her name was wrong. She should have been called Asha, but for some reason she got another name. Like that could make her more interesting and appealing. The actress lacks any kind of charm or presence and turned her character into a much more of a bitch and a humorless, charmless she-man than it was in the books. Turning her into a lesbian didn't help making her less unattractive and less unsympathetic. It was only in the last 2 seasons that she stopped being a total bitch, another underdeveloped and underexploited character. First of all, he was not black in the books. Second, the actor lacked depth. And third, he simply didn't do much. He didn't get too much screen time, but when he did, he was as dry as a log, and there really isn't much more to say. Another major disappointment. Mance Rayder was all big words and not much action. He was made devoid of all the charm that the original character had in the books and turned into a pretty unsympathetic and annoying character. When he was finally executed, I felt no pity for him whatsoever. Despite the good casting, Ciaran Hinds was trapped inside his poorly written character. It just wasn't fleshed out enough. He was all big words and posturing. Who was she? Just a little child acting like an adult, and not very good either. At first she was bearable because she supported Jon, but then she started showing muscles and questioning his actions with Daenerys and Unsullied. A totally fictional and unnecessary addition. There was a Mormont woman in the books, but she was a woman and not a child, and her name was not Lyanna. I just failed to see the point of turning the Mormont representative in the North into a tiny girl. The actress just failed to look convincing in her part, and was another case of poor casting and feminism. It was about coming up with as many strong female characters as possible, it seems, in the last couple seasons anyway. Though she was somewhat less annoying than the Sand Snakes, which isn't that hard to pull off really, Elaria was just one very unsympathetic character in Game of Thrones, whose sole purpose of existing seemed to be to engage in the pleasures of the flesh and be a total bitch and a malignant person. Even though the actress did okay in her role, giving her such a big part was a mistake. In the books, she is reduced to a small character that pretty much only barks at Doran for not being decisive enough in avenging Oberyn's death. Again, feminism prevailed, and instead of being imprisoned by Doran like in the books, she succeeded in killing Doran and taking the throne, if it can be called that. It's a princedom after all, for herself. A really bad choice, also because Elaria could never be a match for Cersei in political and strategic terms, like Doran proved to be in the books eventually.